So here's kind of a quick list. You're looking at it and thinking, this probably isn't a quick list. But just some of the things I wanted to jot down of things that have happened in the last 10 years or so to make things easier. We've seen dosimeters move from having a wire that goes to the mic to mount on the shoulder. Makes it easier to mount, gets rid of the safety hazard of the wire, right? We're aware of that. We've seen dosimeters move from wired connection to a infrared connection, or ERDA, now to BLE, or Bluetooth Low Energy is what that stands for, to make it easier to set up and monitor people. Something that we're introducing now to do that, and just by the way, in the slide here, if you hadn't noticed, the things that are highlighted in green are things that are new things we're introducing with the Spartan 730 noise dosimeter. So also wireless charging, and we'll talk a little bit about why that's valuable. You can kind of read down through there. I won't read them all to you. We have also, with dosimeters, we've all become very mobile people. We like our phones, we like our iPads, we like having our computer with us at all times, and we've taken that and taken it even beyond remote monitoring now to doing a lot of other things such as instrument setup and report generation. So what I want to do here then is we'll just move off of this, and a few of these I want to highlight briefly to give you an idea of what's changing and where we're at. First one here is with wireless communication. I suspect that most people, if not everyone on this call today, is familiar with Bluetooth. But there's a newer version of Bluetooth called Bluetooth Low Energy that you may or may not be familiar with. And this is now used in dosimeters. We use it in our Spartan 730, but other dosimeter manufacturers use it also. Some neat things about this technology is it eliminates the need to pair devices. And so a Bluetooth device can just find other devices in range, and you don't have to do anything except open up an app. It's really neat and nice. If you haven't seen it before, you'll like it. You're also probably familiar, old Bluetooth, you could have up to 7 devices. The low energy now has 255. So if you're a user that has a lot of dosimeters, you can talk to a lot of dosimeters now. And nicely, it's supported in a wide number of platforms. And so that you don't have to have special dongles or things like that a lot of the time. You can just use your existing electronics that you have. And one thing that's new in our Spartan Model 730 is we now allow our users to use Bluetooth for everything, to configure the meter, to do everything, and I'll talk about that a little bit more too. I mentioned briefly about wireless charging. We believe this makes your job a lot easier for a number of reasons. First of all, wireless charging, if you haven't used it before, you'll love it. It's very simple. It's reliable. I know I got a new cell phone a while back, and it had wireless charging, and I got a charging pad, and I told myself then, I'll never buy another phone that doesn't have wireless charging. It's so simple and convenient. Just a few things that about the wireless charging that could be of interest to you. First of all, it'll work in about any environment. If there's dust or dirt, doesn't matter. You put the thing on the pad, it figures it out and goes through it. You don't have to worry about cables getting dirty or pads or anything like that. It's just as fast as plugging things in, and it's also very readily available. So if you want another charger, you can go to Amazon or the local store or whatever and buy these things for relatively low cost. And with our new Model 730 dosimeter, we've actually built these chargers right into the kit, so that when you put your dosimeter into the storage case, it charges. Makes it nice and simple. Just one little thing to make it easier to do the work. Another item here to talk about is motion detection, and you may be familiar. There are a number of dosimeters available today that provide motion detection, or will provide the overall motion as a percentage or something like that. We have that motion detection also, But with the Model 730, we've tried to take that a little step further and help you out to make your life easier. So we actually report, and it's a little bit hard to see here, but I'll bring my mouse over here and point to it. If you look at the bottom of this graph here of noise levels, you can see there's a red line at the bottom. That's all the time that this dosimeter was not in motion. This is actually a long measurement. If you're wondering what it is, this was a dosimeter sitting in my office, so you can see what time I went home that day and what time I arrived in the office the next day, I guess, because it sat on my desk the rest of the time. But that's valuable because we know that not everybody loves to wear a noise dosimeter for a day while they're being measured for a shift. If it goes into the locker or on the table or something like that, this dosimeter will inform you when that happens, and it can help you make sure you get good data. We've also added the automatic removal of a bump or drop data, and you can see that in the data. And if you'd like more information about this motion detection, we actually have a webinar coming up on the 20th of June here. It's talking more about motion detection. You can learn more about it then. Another one is event audio recording that you may have in your current product. It's not unique to us, but it's something that makes life a lot easier for people doing noise dosimetry measurements. And the reason the reason it will make life easier is it can do two things for you. First of all, it's not uncommon when making a measurement, something loud happens, and you can go back and you can look in the trace data like this here and see, gee, it was really loud right now. I'd like to know what that was. You can now listen to that and tell what that was. You can also detect tampering. We know if somebody thinks they're wearing around a microphone, they're going to test it, right? They're going to clap in it, talk in it, whatever else. If they make loud noises just from tampering, it's nice to know that. So you can remove it from the data. Again, we have a webinar kind of focused on this on June 27th. If you'd like to learn more, please join us then, and we can tell you more about audio recordings and noise dosimetry. Next one to talk about is something that's also available in a number of noise dosimeters, and that's the availability of 1/1 octave filters. And just quickly, you may be aware of this or you may not, but I'll tell you, the 1/1 octave filters give you a basic frequency content of the noise exposure. So it's broken down in frequency bins here. This one's centered at 31.5 hertz. This one's at 125 hertz. And it breaks down the overall noise by frequency. This can be really useful if you have an abnormal work environment and want to tailor your hearing protection to maximize the protection at levels where the noise is high in your work environment. This gives you the data that allows you to do that. I kind of hinted to this a little bit at the beginning of the presentation and wanted to say a little bit more about it, and that's mobile apps. So there are mobile apps for various noise dosimeters, and we believe we've taken it one step further to make working with noise dosimeters easy. We have an app, we call it Atlas, and it not only allows you to do real-time monitoring by Bluetooth, but it also allows you to configure your meter, so you can go in and change any setups you want. You can actually download files. You can view data files. You can produce reports and actually share those data files and reports all from your phone or from an Apple device. And there's a few screenshots here just to kind of give you an idea of how that might work. When I open up the app, it just automatically goes out and finds dosimeters that are within Bluetooth range and lists them here. If I tap on one of these dosimeters, like this one here, looks like 50 is the one here, then it'll actually open up another window here or a pane where I can see files that are on that. I can click up the top here. I can set up. I can calibrate. I can add notes. If I double click on one of those, it downloads it right to my phone. I can double tap it again, open up a file, and view it, including my graph here. I could click up here, look at the graph. I could click here and generate a report. So completely featured. So if you're a person who likes to be mobile and doesn't want to carry around your laptop and pull it out and plug it in and plug in IR dongles and all that other stuff, we've worked hard. We've worked hard as our engineering team to eliminate that and make life easier for you. We've also done the same thing with our PC-based software. We realize that sometimes people want to use a PC for various reasons, and sometimes Bluetooth may not be allowed in your environment, and you need to use a PC and with something like USB communication. But even then, we've added features to our PC software to make it easy to use, and we've tried to remove redundant, time-wasting tasks. So just like I showed you on the app, when I open up the PC, it automatically goes and finds dosimeters, whether they're plugged in by USB or whether they're available by Bluetooth, lists them right here. If there's files to download, this is kind of cool. It'll automatically go out and copy those files right to my PC, and I don't have to do anything other than open the app and bring that dosimeter within Bluetooth range, which is kind of cool. So if I'm finishing up my noise survey, I can collect them. I can put them right in the case where they'll charge. They'll start downloading. When I'm done gathering my other instruments, whatever, I can come back and my data is already on my PC. I can just open my files and generate my reports. So we've tried to make that easy also. A little bit on the Auto Connect. There's a little meter panel here, and just as meters show up, you see them in the panel. You don't have to click any buttons or anything. It just happens automatically. Same with auto download. Here's an example of how that would work. The meter found the files. It just starts these little yellow arrows indicate that it's queued for an auto download and just starts downloading them. And when it's done, you see they're downloaded, and I can open it up and look at it. And one question that people sometimes have about this feature is, gee, this is Bluetooth. I know Bluetooth, it comes and goes, right? You walk out of range, you walk behind a wall, and now it's not connecting, and then it is. We've actually designed the software so that when it's connected, it'll download. If you go out of range, it just pauses. When you come back, it picks up where you stopped and continues to download until the file's completely downloaded. So we efficiently use the time. That's a really neat feature. Another thing that's been done to make life easier for noise dosimetry measurements is we've added the ability. Well, it's actually an ability we had with old products, but we've included it still. The ability to graphically edit your data, and so you can pull up the data in. Then this feature is available in the PC software. You can pull it up, look at the time waveform. And if there's an area that's noise, maybe you determined that was tampering, or maybe you determined it was not work-related, you can exclude it. Sometimes people will use this feature to exclude data before or after a measurement or during lunch period or something like that. This little blue line you see over here indicates an area where there was an audio recording to record this information here. But the graphical editing allows you to get rid of your unwanted data, and it also allows you to do some what-if analysis. So if you determine that, gee, I had a worker, and during the afternoon they were working a machine that was particularly noisy, and you wanted to do some what-if analysis and determine, gee, if I could make this machine quieter, how much quieter would I need to make it before his noise dose comes within my acceptable range? And you can model that really easily using this graphical editing. Thank you very much for your time. We appreciate